Yo, what's up, world? It's your man Slim Jim Longfoot, aka the GOAT, King of America. Welcome to this special edition, this special live stream right here, called making, you know what I'm saying, this making it through COVID. Making it through COVID. Today is the 29th of December, 2020. It is a Tuesday? It's a Tuesday, ain't it? Yeah, it's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, December the 29th, 2020. It's your man, Slim Jim Longfoot, a.k.a. the GOAT, King of America. We are right now broadcasting on both YouTube and Facebook, so appreciate all of y'all being here with me. About to go check out the comments real quick. We about to go check these joints out real quick right now. Let's see, we got KianaVision is in the building. Micah Marshall, one of our panelists right here. Life with the Sunflower Lady, who is one of our panelists, who I'm about to get up in here as soon as possible. We got Perfumes with Pat, who is one of our panelists in the building, and we also have Lady Capricorn Terror in the building. And you are not late. Don't feel bad, Lady Capricorn Terror. You are right on time, because we just now starting this thing up, because we've been having some technical difficulties. You feel me? So right now I'm trying to get Lady Sunflower up in here, Life with the Sunflower Lady in the back office. Did you see the link again? Sunflower Lady? Check out the link again real quick. In a minute, guys, I'm about to bring up the panelists, 2 of the 3 panelists that we're going to have here. And I'm going to ask them, 4 questions. And the order that I asked them will be in the order of which, who received their symptoms first. So we're going to be going from, we have, first and foremost, let's see. Let me show you guys the panelists in a second. Hold on for a minute. Let me come up off of here real quick. Okay, so here, of course, is, the nice thumbnail. Here to our left, we have Perfumes with Pat in the building right here. We have Perfumes with Pat in the building. We have King Micah in the house. And we also have Life with the Sunflower Lady, who we are trying to get in on the in the studio. So y'all bear with me as we do that. Okay, so I'm about to do that right now. I'm about to drop you the link in the chat. Life with Sunflower Lady. Go ahead and click on that thing there. As soon as it pop up. Appreciate everybody for coming up in the building right now. I'm about to turn the sound on for our guests in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Make it do what it do. And let's see, everybody can hear me good. Write the number 1. Write the number 1 if you can hear me good, because I'm not the star of this. The star of this are my panelists right here. They are the stars. They are the survivors of this craziness that has went down in 20. Let's see who got. Was that me? I thought I heard something. I don't know what that was. Oh, that's Perfume with Pat. Oh, she's unmuted now. Perfumes with Pat, you can talk now. King Micah, you can talk now. You introduce yourselves real quick to everybody.
Hello, I'm Perfumes with Pat, and I have a YouTube channel called Perfumes with Pat. How you doing?
Hey.
Flamio, hot man. It's your boy King Micah. So I have a YouTube channel as well called Micah Marshall, because I haven't came up with a catchy name. So it's just my name. And so, but I go by King Micah, Magic Micah, Chef Boy King Micah D, whatever you want to call me. But I do cooking on my channel, do vlogs and stuff like that. Do a little bit of everything. I do magic and I do rap. So you never know what you're going to get.
Hey, that's what's happening. And once again, well, y'all saw me earlier. This guy right here, Slim Jim Longfoot, aka the GOAT, King of America. I'm coming back out, and we are about to introduce the 3rd panelist, the Sunflower Lady herself.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hey King Micah. Hi Perfume with Pat. How are we doing tonight?
Good.
Introduce yourself to the audience, Life with the Sunflower Lady, for those who may not know you.
Okay. Hi everybody. I'm Life with the Sunflower Lady, and I am just a grateful woman. Grateful for life. Grateful for this upcoming new year. I am here to help and support.
Hey, that part. and she brings her sunny disposition wherever she go. All three of these are awesome YouTubers. Not only are they awesome YouTubers, but I have the pleasure of having them. Not only having them in my in my Goat Nation, but also here with I'm also of course a part of their subscribers as well. As King Micah said, King Micah, he is a chef. You know what I'm saying? He gets down with awesome channel, awesome episodic series he has called Cooking with the King on his channel. Perfumes with Pat. Perfumes with Pat brings so many great fragrances to life. I wish I could smell them when she talks about fragrances. She talks about, plus she of course showcases her family life and everything else in between. Life with the Sunflower Lady is just no holds bar. She just cool with it, chill with it, and she just brings the joy, you know what I'm saying, that same type of joy that you see with a sunflower field, a field of sunflowers, you feel me? And so what I'm about to do right now, I'm about to, of course, go one by one. I got four main questions for everybody. I got four main questions for everybody. Here are my questions, really. And we're going to start off with, the person. We're going in order to who, had, this thing, COVID-19. We're going to say the name here. We're going to say the name here because y'all had it, had it or still dealing with it. So we're going to say the name here. We got the right to do so. It's just like saying, oh, and I got diarrhea. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you got diarrhea, you got diarrhea. If you had COVID, you had COVID. We ain't about the boogeyman and Voldemort it, like it shall not be named. Like we ain't got time for that. We all grown and we want to know what's going on. And for those that didn't have any experience on the symptoms of this thing, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. And so the first thing I want to ask, we're going to start off with Perfumes with Pat. Everybody is going to have this question, so feel free. Oh, yeah, I love the sunflower too, KianaVision. Shout outs to KianaVision in the building who's in the audience right now, along with Lady Capricorn Terra, Miss Lackey, and a couple other people who is up in here. I've seen, let's see, let's see, cool. I see, yeah. So we're going to start off with you, Pat, Lady Pat. Perfumes with Pat. This question here. What symptoms did you have that caused you to say, I need to see my doctor, something is amiss?
Well, I was having fever. My temperature was 99. I just had a low grade temperature and it was 99.6. And it was like that for maybe one day. And I work in healthcare, so I was already at the clinic. I worked there. So that's what made me go check it out. I was just having a fever. That was my first symptom.
All right. And this is also in relation to the first question. When did you got COVID-19? I don't want to say diagnosed because it's not like it's something that you keep forever. Like it's not like a diagnosis that you keep for the rest of your life. So when did they say, okay, you have COVID-19, you have the coronavirus?
It was it was February 18th.
So that was early on when it first came here, because I remember the first cases, because we live in the same state, y'all. Me and Perfumes with Pat live in the same state of Georgia. And the first case I remember, you said what, February? Mm-hmm. February what, 19th?
Yeah, I got diagnosed February 18th, a matter of fact.
Okay, so that might have been before. Was that before those two guys, the cases that they first said on the news, that guy and his son? I think that was before that.
Probably.
So you might have very well have been the first case in Georgia, because I heard about those guys when I was in the hospital when I, was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. That was on February 27th. And so in the course of me being in the hospital, that's when they first.
I wonder if it's March or February. I'm trying to figure that out. My daughter got married. My sister's on here. Sis, if you're listening, what day did Amber get married? So my daughter got married either March or February. I want to say it's February, but I believe it's February. Whatever month my daughter got married, that's when I got it.
I know it was definitely early on for you, because I remember in your early videos when I first came across your channel, and the first time that I heard of it, Kiana, I actually heard of it back in December when they was talking about it, over on the other side of the world when they first, talked about it. But, it wasn't something that we was having much concern of here, just like when they was talking about the swine flu about 10 or so years ago. It wasn't, it was something to talk about, but it wasn't really anything of importance between, December and February. And then the next thing we was hearing about it being over in Europe, all the other continents, in Africa and in Europe, and then all of a sudden it made its way over here, and then it was just like, okay, what is going on? And so it's like, wow, just like wow. I'm gonna come back to you with the next question. I want to ask the same question to the Sunflower Lady. Sunflower Lady, I want to ask you this question as well, of course. What symptoms that you have caused you to say you need to see your doctor, something is amiss?
Okay. I diagnosed on prior to the 15th. I can't say that I even had any.
Oh, we got Sunflower Lady, y'all. We're gonna get her right back. Hold on for a sec, y'all. Hold on for a sec. We're gonna get her right back. So let's heal together. Thank you for joining. Let's heal together. Oh, that's our Pat sister. I recognize you. Hey, how you doing?
So she said, I got it at March 13th.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Let's heal together. Thank you very much. We have our Life with the Sunflower Lady back in the building. Okay. As you were saying, Miss Lady.
I'm sorry, it keeps kicking me out.
Oh, that's weird.
But prior to
y'all.
Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Prior to the 15th, I can't say that I had any symptoms that would have made me feel like I needed to be tested. I mean, I live in Georgia. The week before, we had hot days, cold days, rainy days, just the normal. So, yeah, I may have sneezed, I may have coughed, but it was never anything that made me feel like I was sick. That Tuesday, we had a meeting at work. And immediately after that meeting, I just started having all of this pain and pressure. Like I had a terrible headache. My face started to hurt. I said, well, you know what? I didn't have dinner last night. Let me eat my breakfast, see if that'll help me, bounce back. Maybe it's a hungry headache. Well, I started to eat my food and my throat was just burning. And I was like, wait a minute, that's weird. So at that very moment, I was actually scrolling through trying to schedule an appointment to be COVID-19 tested simply because of a separate situation that I had just become aware of. Well, I got to the scheduling of the appointment, and it was a question, do you have this? Do you have that symptom? And all of a sudden, when I got to the third box and I was checking something off, I just immediately cried. And I was like, oh God.
Sunflower Lady, I think she just froze on us. Hold on for a second. I don't know why I keep kicking her out, y'all. Sunflower Lady, can you still hear me? Because I know it's frozen on your end right now. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. We got these technical difficulties. Technology, they don't want us to talk about it. Well, we gonna talk about it. I don't care what y'all try to do. We gonna talk about it. So hold on, let me unmute everybody real quick. As we wait on Sunflower Lady real quick. Wait. Well, I can't unmute Mike. You had to unmute yourself, Mike. So let's see. So we're gonna wait for Sunflower Lady to come back because I definitely want to hear her story. Finish hearing her story there. We are of course back in the building. Perfumes with Pat in the building. King Micah. While we wait on Life with the Sunflower Lady to finish her story, because what she was going through, that's just like crazy, with the throat and the burning sensation. Like, did Pat, did you experience that burning sensation?
No, I didn't have any throat issues.
Oh wow, see, and see, that's why we need to know about these things, because this is something that is kind of unprecedented as far as like the virus itself. It impacts people different ways. Let's see, we got Sunflower Lady, she's coming back in, so I'm gonna meet you guys back real quick. Hold on, and about to bring Sunflower Lady back to the screen. Here we go. All right,
y'all. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I can't explain.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey,
I'm going to try and make this quick. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of backstory about myself. Okay, first of all, I want you all to understand that I am one, an essential worker. 2, I have an elderly parent. 3, my brother is in his end stages of pancreatic cancer and has been taking chemo. So when COVID came, I fully understood the importance of hand washing, social distancing, just all of the important things. And I have been doing that since March. So when all of this came up, and and that was not my first scare. Like, I was originally COVID tested the week of Halloween, and everything was fine. And I want y'all to understand there's a difference between being tested because either you want to be tested or you feel that you may have been exposed. But once you are getting tested because you actually have symptoms, that's a new ball game. So, like I said, I was checking off the boxes. It upset me because I felt like I don't get sick. I don't get sick very often. I was feeling fine just moments prior. And now I'm having chills. My face hurts. My head hurts. My body's aching. My throat hurts. So I went to the emergency room because the places that I had been trying to reach out to about getting tested, they just basically couldn't get to me quick enough. So because I was starting to just feel so bad, I went to the emergency room. And when I got there, they swabbed me for the flu, COVID, and strep throat. I tested positive for COVID-19 as well as strep. The doctor, after I was told by a passing nurse that I could leave, you got COVID, but you can go. I was taken aback, y'all, because I hadn't seen a doctor. I had just been swabbed and left to wait in a room. I had been waiting in that room for probably about 2 hours when the door opened and the nurse stuck her head in and she was like, you should be able to go now. And I was like, but I don't understand. She says, I mean, you have COVID, but you should be able to go now. I said, I haven't talked to anyone. She says, you haven't seen the doctor? I was like, no. She was, give me a moment. Oh, someone will be right back. That's when the doctor came in. And of course, by now, y'all, I'm crying again. Because I'm like, wait, now reality is set in that you have COVID-19. And they have been scaring us to death about COVID-19 since it started.
Mm-hmm. Fear that definitely
Right.
fear, like yeah, it's been like no other. And like Lady Capricorn Terra just said, it's crazy how they dismissed you. And it was like,
yeah, I'm talking about, for y'all, don't get me wrong, I am an emotional creature, okay? I am fine with that. But to have a medical professional just kind of throw it out there at you, it was devastating. It was traumatizing. My life literally was started to flash in front of my eyes. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? I have underlying health issues. I have these serious bouts with bronchitis that cause me to have fluid on my lungs from time to time. So I'm like, okay, I really need somebody to explain something to me, let me know how this is going to go, what I need to do. And honestly, you all, I didn't really get that. The doctor basically just tried to pacify me, I guess, because I was upset and said, oh, don't worry. The flu has killed more people than this. You're a young woman in relatively good health. You should be just fine. I'm going to give you these prescriptions and you just head on to the house. They gave me 10 days in quarantine, and that was it. They gave me an antibiotic, a steroid, a pain medication, 10 days home, and that was it. On my fourth or fifth day, I finished my first round of steroids, and the next day I immediately got super congested. I started to wheeze. I had already lost my sense of taste and smell. My chills were coming and going. The body aches were coming and going. But now I was starting to feel like I was actually having some type of respiratory issue. I reached out to my actual doctor, and she basically switched my medication. She said that she was going to put me on some medication that she had seen had actually had a positive effect with people on COVID that were diagnosed with COVID-19. I started to take that medication right before, I think it was maybe the 23rd, maybe about the 23rd. And I started to feel better through Christmas. Christmas was probably my first really good day. It was but it was just an experience. And once let me take a step back. When my doctor gave me new medication, she also extended my quarantine. The CDC originally started out with a 14-day quarantine. Somewhere along the lines of them not figuring out anything else, they changed it to 10 days, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But she extended it out and told me to make sure I took the entire 14 days. And once I had taken the entire 14 days, I should be able to get retested and go back to work. Today is my 14th day.
Now, Sunflower Lady, before we get into your quarantine, that's going to lead into my second question. So we're gonna hold you right there before we get into the quarantine. So I'm gonna hold you right there, and hold on to that, because that's going to go into my second question for you. Okay. With that being said, and so you said on the 15th, well, you first got tested back during the week of Halloween, and then they told you what on December the 15th this month that was when you
okay, when I got tested the week of Halloween, I was tested that Thursday. I got my results back that next day. I was negative. And that was that. Another month or so passed. And once we got into the month of December, that's when I actually tested positive. But like I said, with my first test, I had simply been exposed. I may have been exposed to someone that had tested positive, but through the grace of God, at that point in time, I was fine.
That's wild right there. That's wild. That's wild, son. That's wild. I say son, I don't mean son like yo son, no, but
listen,
lady.
look, everybody gets a nickname. It's fine.
That's right.
Life with the sunflower lady can be a little teaser. So
Hey, that part. All right, we're gonna. I'm going to stay right here, Sunflower Lady. Now I'm going to ask King Micah. I'm about to ask you, of course, the same first question that I asked the two ladies. What symptoms did you have that caused you to say, "I need to see my doctor. Something is amiss"?
Well, about a week and a half ago, I lost my smell, and I was eating some ramen noodles, and I was like, I can't smell this. Why can't I smell this? And it was just kind of weird. And I was like, why can't I smell this? And it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, but I know I work in the hospital. So I work in the dietary department, and I travel to the COVID floors, but I don't have to go into the COVID rooms. But I'm around it all the time, and I'm around people that are around it all the time. So I feel like it was probably about time. My wife actually tested positive on Thanksgiving. So how the world works, I guess I have to be positive on Christmas. I guess that's how it works. So I lost my smell. Well, leading up to that, I had a really runny nose the last day or two before, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I lost my smell, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get tested.
Oof. That's crazy right there, Mike. And you said this was last week, so this is very recent for you,
Yeah.
having to deal with this. And first and foremost, shout outs to Micah, as y'all say he worked in the hospital, so that pretty much puts him at the tier of being an essential worker. So this is something that you have been in throughout the thick of this, because you've had this job since before Corona, before Corona, correctly. So so you've been in. You've basically been at danger of getting this throughout the whole time, or anything for that matter, that could be of a contagion. So, so shout outs to you, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like as far as that go, like being right there in the thick of it. Also, like shout outs to my cousin over here, Graham Husker, who is off screen, who is who works for the CDC. So he's been an essential worker and dealing with this throughout its whole time as well. So it's a crazy thing to be that close to something that you've been hearing about for months. Is like like the boogeyman around the corner.
The worst part is, like, I'll go into rooms sometimes, and then the nurses were like, oh yeah, we're about to test them for COVID. I was like, oh, thanks for the heads up, appreciate it. That's great. So every time I get home, pretty much I throw my clothes in the washer. It's like kids don't hug me, just to keep them safe. I haven't had my kids in school. They've been doing virtual this whole time. It's crazy.
Right, I can only imagine. Yes, especially being a parent, of kids, of school age children during this time as well. I know that's been really a trip, my man. So Pat, we're going to go back to you with the second question, and the other panelists up here definitely check think about this second question as well. And we're going to go down to everybody in the comments real quick before I go to you, Pat. Let's see. Thanks to everybody who has joined in. Feel free to share this to your friends who may want to check this out. Once again, we got KianaVision, Miss Lackey in the building, Lady Capricorn Terra, Latanya Porter. Who else is in the building? Let's Heal Together in the building. Adriana Villanueva Vlogs in the house. Iaga the Gym in the building. I do believe I said Miss Lackey already. And those are everybody who I see right here. I appreciate all y'all for coming through and sharing this me and the dope panelists right here, these awesome panelists up here. And so Perfume Loop, I know y'all want to shut us down, but you ain't everybody hear me real. And let's see, we're going to unmute Perfumes with Pat. And I'm going to ask you, Pat, can you describe your time in quarantine and how did that affect you?
Well, like I said, my first symptom was fever. So I got tested like 2 days after I found out. But, you know, back in March or February, whenever I got it, they weren't giving you, they weren't doing anything really because they didn't know anything about it. You know, like it was all new to them in March. I think that they still don't know anything about it, but they're doing a little bit better now. So then I started to lose my taste and smell. Like every day was a new symptom. I'm gonna run down all the symptoms that I had. So I had fever, I had shortness of breath, fatigue, I had diarrhea, I had loss of taste or smell, and the worst thing that I had was shortness of breath. So 2 days after I got tested, and the result was supposed to come back in 8 days. You know, they weren't doing the quick test back in March. So 8 days, I was supposed to get my result. 2 weeks later, I still didn't have my result, but I already knew I had it, you know, because like, and they shut my building down. Like I'm a nurse. I work at, you know, in a clinic. They shut the building completely down, and everyone in the building got tested. Anyone I was around got tested because me and another nurse, we got it. And
you also, Pat, shout outs to you as well, because you are an essential worker as well, being a nurse. So shout outs to you as well. And I can only imagine. So please continue. Sorry about that.
So after what happened was they sent us home, like I said, and they told me to stay home for the 2 weeks. But 12 days passed, I didn't have my tests as yet. 13 days. By the 13th day, I was having like I couldn't breathe, like at all. I could not breathe. So I decided that I'm going to take myself to the emergency room. So I went to the emergency room. That was a Sunday. And when I got there, I said, I can't breathe. I feel like there was fire in my chest. And it was like burning, like bad, like burning. So when I went there, they didn't want to, first of all, they didn't want to touch you. I might understand it. Being a nurse, I understand. They didn't want to touch you. They didn't know what to say. They just told you, go home, rest, go home, whatever. They didn't know anything about it, and they didn't want to catch it. So in that sense, I did understand it. But I was annoyed, you know, at the doctor because he didn't even want to do a chest x-ray on me. So I was just like, dude. So I had to pull the nurse card. I said, listen, I work for here. I'm a nurse here in this building. I'm going to need you to do my chest x-ray right now. And he was like, oh my God, you work for us? Okay, I'm going to do your chest x-ray. Like, why did it take all of that to do that? So he did the chest x-ray and he came back. I had to wait in my car. It was like, you know, care from your car, basically drive through care from your car. So I got up there and the doctor was like, Miss McNish, you have COVID lungs. And I was like, do I have pneumonia? He was like, it's the same difference. You have COVID in your lungs. He said so he showed me the x-ray, and the x-ray showed like, it was kind of like little fire pockets coming all the way up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. And it hit me right then and there that even though I knew I had COVID, I don't know why I was so emotional about it. I knew I had COVID. I've been on quarantine for 12 days, you know, and I'm supposed to be coming off of my quarantine. And here I am finding out that I have COVID. And I'm like, but I knew it. But that's when I found out on the 12th day. So the next day, it was Sunday. So Tuesday now, the doctor from my job, which is, you know, called me, was like, okay, your results came back and they're positive. And I'm like, I already knew I had COVID. I went to the doctor on Sunday to the emergency room because I was dying. I can't breathe. You know, I couldn't breathe. Like literally, I would walk outside of my house at 3 o'clock in the morning and go outside and pray, Father, please don't let me die. I got 4 kids and I got to take care of them, you know. And let me tell you, my sister was so emotional when I told her that I had COVID. She cried. I was like, Vanessa, I can't breathe. What am I going to do? But I remember one of the nurses at the job said, Patrice, whatever you do, because she worked on the COVID unit. She said, whatever you do, Patrice, do not come here and let them put you on a vent. She said, stay home and try every remedy you could think of, every natural thing you could think of, and get better. And I cried because I was like, but I can't breathe. She said, Patrice, go home and breathe. She said, I know this sounds silly, but breathe. Ask God to let you breathe. And I was like, I was hysterical. I didn't know. I called my husband. I was like, baby, they said I have a COVID. And he's like, my husband had it too, by the way. He's like, babe, but we know we got COVID. We could tell we so sick. When I said we couldn't get out of bed and my 2 kids was here, they're 14 and 12, and they made us tea, they made us dinner, they made us lunch. It was the worst experience in life. Like they were going to lose their mom and their dad, you know, and I didn't even know that my husband was so, you know, bad off. But yeah, I had it bad for about 2 months. 2 months, I still cough. And I was in quarantine for 2 months. So all that 10-day quarantine, that stuff is not, they're just making it up as they go along. They really don't know what to do. They really don't. So I was in quarantine for 2 months. 2 months.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was. And when I say that I'm glad to be here, like I nearly never made it. Like I was almost gone from this earth. I could not breathe. I could not breathe at all. At all. But my friend said, don't come here. You're going to die. And I listened because I didn't want to die. And I just stayed home and literally sort of breathe. And if you let it, let me tell you something. COVID is a psychological thing also.
Mm-hmm.
If you let it, COVID has the potential to take over your mind and make you crazy. When they told me the diagnosis of COVID, I lost my mind. Like, I was just like, wait a minute, like I'm going crazy, you know, and I had to sit myself down and talk to myself. Patrice, you could do this. You're an overcomer. You're a fighter. You could do it. Breathe. I sat up in the bed every night and slept just like this. Breathe. And my husband, I would look over on him, make sure he was alive. I would go walk around the house with make sure the kids was good. Walk outside, breathe. I live around a lot of trees. I was like, trees, you're supposed to give oxygen. I'm gonna need you to give me some oxygen. So, you know, this thing, I don't wish it on anyone. You know, now I think they understand a little bit better about it. So they're telling you, you could go home. You don't have to quarantine, but 5 days, 10 days. No, don't listen to these people. Quarantine yourself so you could keep someone else safe. So yes, my quarantine time was 2 months and change. So.
And I know that was a lot of time to definitely reflect. And I know one of the things that came great out of quarantine was that it was the birth of your channel. Your channel, if I'm not mistaken, was born out of your quarantine as well.
It was. The day that I went back to work was a Monday, and I decided to start the channel on a Sunday. And that's what I started with, my COVID story, because I was saying all these things that I want to do in my life. I'm just sitting here going to work every day, going to church, which is good. I mean, I don't mind the church part, but work, church, home, work, church, home, nothing else. No, I mean, I go on trips, but still nothing that I, you know, find enjoyment in, you know, and that's what I decided to do. Start Perfumes with Pat.
See, that's a beautiful thing right there, y'all. You know, even out of this ugliness, you know, came something very beautiful. And
yes,
Pat was able to share her story. As you said, that was the very first thing that you did on your channel, sharing your story of, you know, so you yourself won't forget. And then you could, of course, inform other people about how you was feeling during that time in your life. And what, of course, ended up becoming something on a global scale. Like, you know, like it's not like this was just something that happened in, you know, a little small town on the other side of nowhere. This has been going on global.
Yeah, and you get a lot of people that come into the facility, even today, white, black, and they're like, this is from the government. This stuff is made up. And I'm like, even if you think that it's made up, let me tell you, whatever I had nearly killed me. So I know it's not made up. Even if it was man-made, I don't know where it came from. It's not made up. And I think that until someone in your family get it, you won't understand the importance of what they're saying. Social distances, put on your mask, wash your hands. You know, think about other people. But I'm telling you, this thing ain't no joke.
That part. That part. I appreciate you there, Pat, on that second question right there. And life with the sunflower lady. It is your turn to answer that question. I'm about to put you in the back in the studio, Pat. And first and foremost, of course, about to show everybody real quick. Okay, life with the sunflower lady. It is your turn now, of course. Can you describe your time in quarantine? Which, of course, I know you're still going through quarantine as of right now, if I'm not mistaken. Today is your last day, so we're about to get into it, and we're about to ask you to describe your time in quarantine. How does it affect you? Let me go ahead and unmute you real quick. No, you got to unmute yourself, sunflower lady. Sunflower lady, you got to unmute yourself. There we go.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I'm just gonna give it to you how it is. Okay. I want you to first and foremost understand something. The day that I was diagnosed was one of the hardest days of my life. And y'all, I done had some hard days. But to know that you have something that could potentially take your life, and the medical professionals that are to advise you really aren't or can't do that, that's a scary feeling. Quarantine has been one of the scariest times of my life, yet and still in saying that, it has also been one of the most freeing times of my life as well. Besides the days of pain or discomfort, when you face something this real, it forces you to reevaluate your life. And even though I wouldn't wish this on anyone, my case was if I would have been in the situation Perfumes with Pat was in, y'all, I can't say where I would be right now had to have this conversation, because I don't know how I would have handled that scenario. I feel that my case was mild, much milder than a lot of people that I've heard. I live in a very small town. I remember when we had 2 or 3 cases for weeks, and now my small town that has maybe about 4,000 people has about 600 cases.
Jeez.
And it doesn't seem to be getting better. We have had so many deaths in our little town till it's scary. But how I survived quarantine, I took the time to surround myself with positive people, whether it be virtually or on the phone, whatever. I've started to pray more, just work on my vibrations, just address issues within myself that I feel like could give me a better quality of life. And I focused on that instead of my actual sickness.
That part.
Because even though there were moments when I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to completely bounce back from it. They found new strains since I've been in quarantine. My doctor has said, you're at the 7-day mark. You're at the point where this could really go left or get better. And being at that mark and have to talk to your doctor because your symptoms are getting worse, it made me feel like I just so uncertain about my future. But like I said, I just continue to mentally push forward, because I couldn't. I refuse to settle with the idea that I'm not gonna make it through this. That was just not an option.
Definitely not.
So, like I said, I've just been staying in, trying to stay active. Y'all, they got me on so many steroids right now. I literally have been awake for about 30 something hours. I woke up yesterday morning at 10:58 a.m. for a 11 o'clock premiere on my channel, and I have not been back to sleep. And that's how my life has been. Like, it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming in many ways. It was overwhelmingly scary. It was overwhelmingly uncertain. Like I really was in a place where I felt that I did not have a lot of control. But I decided that regardless of what was going on, I had to keep my mind focused on getting better. They told me, I listened to almost everything I could hear. I made sure I didn't drink any cold liquids. I have been ODing. In the last 14 days, I've only drank water and this ginger, lemon, honey concoction, tea concoction. And I ate whatever I could because I didn't have an appetite. I didn't have much of a sense of taste. I didn't have a sense of taste and smell. My appetite has just recently come back within the last couple days. My sense of taste started to come back in Saturday night. And that gave me a little more encouragement because I was starting to feel like, okay, my constant symptom is starting to reside. So maybe I am really coming up the hill. Things are getting better. And I just used it as motivation. Every little thing. Okay, I woke up today and I didn't have to hit my inhaler. I went and made breakfast and did some things in the house, and I don't feel winded. Every little thing, I took it and I held on to it. But in all of that, I want to say this. Even though this was a traumatic experience, something that I wouldn't wish on anyone, because I already claimed my healing, I must say that this will benefit me. This was a good thing for me in a sense, because when COVID started, the world slowed down and it gave us more time to actually look at life. Well, when my world came to a halt, it forced me to really look into myself and look for a strength that I didn't know I had. And I think that it's changed me, y'all. I suffer from depression and anxiety it can be a level 8 Jumanji. It can be level 5. But I can say that during this time, I wasn't worried. I didn't have the anxiety attacks and things that the small things usually could set off in me. And that just kind of let me know that this too shall pass. And once you get your negative results, it's time to go harder for life. And that aspect of it, I'm grateful. But this isn't something that I want. The emotional strain, the physical strain, this is not something that I would wish on anyone. Because lots of people can't handle change, uncertainty, those kinds of things.
Especially
our generation, anyone under the age of like 50, we are truly going through something. This is our first go round with something really major, you know. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know what to do with it. Everybody can't sit in the house 24/7 and not interact with people and not live a normal life, deal with the financial burdens, deal with all of the stigmas that come along with it. So this is a detrimental time. We're all learning. We're all experiencing something new. And if you're not prepared, which I don't know how you could be, it can be overwhelming, and it can send you spiraling into a place that you don't want to be. But like I said, I thank God that I was in a place where I could handle it. Now, don't get me wrong, y'all. I wasn't Superwoman. I cried like my first 3-4 days. It was just a roller coaster. But once I grasped the fact that it could definitely be worse, and regardless of what goes on, you still have your life. Be grateful for it. Make the most out of it. It helped me ease into my recovery.
And that's what it's all about right there, you know, like it is like Pat said earlier, it's a mental thing, and it is something that a lot of people won't be able to recover from because of the state of the world, of how, you know, like once you done been built up mentally by, okay, this is this dangerous unknown killer, and then you find out, oh, you got it. And you know that screws with your psyche, and especially with you, Sunflower Lady, living in a small town and cases popping up, you know, left and right all over. And as you said, the deaths, condolences on the deaths of those that you knew and those that you don't know. Yes. It's like, you know, all of that is crazy. And as everybody's been saying in the chat, you know what I'm saying, Lady Capricorn Tarot, KianaVision, you know, leaving prayers and thoughts and blessings, because that's what it's all about. That's what's going to make things, you know, better. You know, that law of attraction, bringing forth, you know, a positive vibe. That's why I myself, I don't even watch the news. I wasn't watching the news before all of this, and I stopped watching the news years ago because, you know, if y'all know the movie Demolition Man, all they got on the news, as my mom used to say, MDK, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill. That's pretty much all that's on the news. You know, it's a news program. You know, it's programming you to think of a certain type of way about this area, this, that, and the third. And as LC teacher said, attitude of gratitude. That's what we need to have, being blessed and thankful that we are still alive, regardless of the situations that, you know, that is going on as far as in the world go. Exactly. And it's a wild thing. It's a wild thing. I was going to wait for Micah to come back so I can ask him the second question as well. In the meantime, between time, I'm gonna bring back both of you ladies here on the panel. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we just you know, just free balling at the moment. If anybody in the audience have any questions, you know, anybody who's of course in the comments have any questions for these ladies, these awesome beautiful ladies and survivors, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, you know, ask them some questions if you feel the need to. I don't know if y'all can see any comments right now, but if anything pops up for y'all, I'll read the comments off to y'all, and then we'll resume the questions once Micah gets back in. Micah is currently cooking, for those that didn't see in the comments. He's cooking for his family right now, so we'll wait for him to get back and resume the questions. In the meantime, between time, Lady Capricorn Tarot said, hey, let's heal together. She said, hey, she was saying let's heal together's name. But hey, but that sounds great.
But that's the thing, we must heal together.
Heal together.
This is something that you need a support system, because there are so many uncertainties. Right. I have been told just different things. Okay. I know another person that had tested positive just a little while prior, before I did. Our treatments were totally different. Our quarantine time was totally different. It was just, like I said, the way I was even informed that I was positive, it was just, like I said, y'all, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do feel like there could very well be either a hidden agenda or just a lack of knowledge going on when it comes to this thing. I want to tap into something that Perfumes with Pat said earlier. She said that she had her first bout with it back in February the 18th or the 19th. Oh, okay. It was March.
It was March. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's March.
Well,
My sister,
I had a very similar situation. February the Valentine's was the 14th. That was a Friday.
The LCT.
The 11th. I woke up at like 4 a.m. feeling like I was drowning. I couldn't breathe. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone was stabbing me between my shoulder blades.
Oh.
I slipped on some clothes and drove myself to the ER, called my job and was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I got to the hospital. They basically looked me over. They gave me x-rays. I had fluid buildup in my lungs, but they said it wasn't bronchitis. It wasn't an upper respiratory infection. They couldn't recognize it. They didn't know what it was. They pumped me full of breathing treatments, gave me a round of steroids, and told me to go home. If you start having any more struggles with your breathing, get your inhaler, go back to the hospital. They gave me about 3 days out of work. Well, this all happened on a Monday morning. I went back to work that Friday. But COVID hadn't been announced, even though we now know that it has potentially been around in the States since last year. But like I said, I was having COVID-19 symptoms then. I had the fever. I had the shortness of breath. I had the aches, the chills. But they couldn't diagnose me with anything. Like I say, I have my bouts with bronchitis. I've been to that same hospital a few times about it, and they're always able to tell me just what's going on. But this time, they literally stood around me just like, we can't recognize it. We don't understand. But like I said, they gave me a couple of days home, and that was it. And I felt bad for probably about 3 days, real strong. It was just rough. Constantly hit my inhaler. Just trying to make sure that everything stayed on the up and up. But like I said, back then I was showing symptoms of what we now know to be COVID. And I had no idea. The doctors didn't know. I didn't get any special treatment. I mean, I just kind of, healed up on my own, I guess.
I think they didn't know. They didn't have a clue.
No. And I feel like,
because I think it was there back then, definitely.
Yeah, it was there.
You remember Puff Daddy's, I don't mean to say this, but Puff Daddy's girlfriend that died of the flu?
Yeah, Kim Porter, yeah.
Come on, young girl dying of a flu?
Right.
Right. And then you have a person like me. I'm overweight. I used to smoke. I have a history of bronchitis. Back in 2017, I had pneumonia and the flu simultaneously. And bounced back. It took me a couple weeks, but bounced back like a champ. How is it that the flu just took her out?
Exactly.
Right.
It
And
was no
like,
flu.
there's a teenager in my town. He's like 13, 14 years old. Very athletic. Very, very athletic. He, of course, super young and in good health. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the kid. That baby ended up in the hospital forever. I'm talking about going back and forth all the way to Atlanta and this, that, and the third, because trying to get treatment. I'm talking about just, it was rough. And then here you go, me, 40 plus 1 years old, overweight with underlying health conditions. And once I got over the pain and shortness of breath and this, that, and the third, my worst symptom was losing my sense of taste and smell. Now, like I said, yeah, I had some rough days where it was just rough.
I have no comorbidities, no, nothing underlying. So when I got it, I was a little bit like, wait a minute,
Right.
how did I get this? Because, you know, they were saying that only people with, you know, comorbidities are getting. I'm like, how did I get this? You know? So it was a little, when I got it, it was a little bit, I don't know. But you know what? You said it perfectly, Sunflower. Honestly, I don't wish this on anyone, but I'm happy that I got it. I'm happy that I had it, I should say.
Right.
Because, you know, my daughter just got married 2 days prior. I worked 3 jobs. This was me working 3 jobs, night and day. I barely see my kids, right? I don't even remember what they looked like. You know, they were always home with my husband. And when I got it, 2 months, 3 months, home every day. Cannot go to a store. Stayed with my kids and my husband every single day. Now, today, months later, I've come to learn to appreciate life more than I did back then and stay my butt home. I don't need to work so much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I come to appreciate on a different level. Yeah. But you know, and my mom had it. My mom had it. And let me tell you something. I couldn't even, because I had it the same time she had it, I couldn't even help her or nothing. I would just watch her on FaceTime, literally dying. And I couldn't do anything, you know? So this time, honestly, what I would say to people is, listen, let this teach us something. Get a hold or a grip on our life, you know? And like you said, appreciate life, appreciate what you have, the people around you. You know, and take care of yourself, because I'm trying to lose this weight. Okay. I'm trying to take care of myself.
Hey, ladies, Lady Capricorn Terra, she had this question right here. She asked, what is the message you have for those in fear of getting COVID-19?
Ooh, that's a good question. If you are in fear of getting COVID-19, my recommendation to anyone, this right now, this is our norm.
It is.
And we have got to learn to adjust to it in a way that we can protect ourselves as best we can. Don't fear getting COVID-19. Fear letting it take you. Be afraid to let it have its way with you. Be afraid to let it stop life as you know it. Be afraid that the life that you're living won't be worth looking back on. If you happen to test positive, it's not a death sentence. It does not have to be a death sentence. I know everybody got on the YOLO trend when the song came out. I don't believe in YOLO no more.
I can't stand that song.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
You only live once.
Oh, okay.
That's not true. Every day I open my eyes, I have another chance at life.
There you go.
Only die once. Once you die, there are no do-overs, no redos.
No do-overs.
As long as you are alive and your mind is still functioning, You can praise God. You can encourage yourself. You can talk your way, think your way out of the feelings that you're having. Because that is the most important thing. Everything starts in your mind. Your hand cannot move if your mind does not tell it to.
That part.
Keep focus on strengthening your mind to strengthen your body. Take the zinc. Take whatever you need to boost your immune system. Focus on that. I've always been one of those prevention is better than protection type people. If you bulk up on your things, on the things that are going to strengthen your body, you have a better chance of fighting. If you do end up with a positive result, like I said, it's not a death sentence. It does not have to be. Yes, okay. I literally sat exactly where I am right now and talked to the mirror that was in front of me. And I told myself, this is not your end all be all. This is not the fullness of your life. Something greater is going to come out of this. Your suffering will not be in vain. You will recover, and someone else will be able to be helped because of the fact that you didn't just give up.
Exactly.
Like I said, my brother has pancreatic cancer. You're a nurse. You know how that goes. My brother called me and said, sis, guess what? We have another sister. Lisa coming down here to cook for Christmas. At least all of us will be able to be together. Y'all?
No, ma'am.
The fact that
stay home.
Don't get me wrong. God works miracles every day. They didn't know. They gave my brother just a short period of time and he's still here.
That's good.
When he said that to me, it literally shattered something in me. Because immediately the fear set in, the sadness set in, and I started thinking, oh my God, what if this is my brother's last Christmas and I can't be with him? After I had my own little mini meltdown, me in the mirror, you're gonna beat this. You're not gonna be contagious forever. That Negro done been hanging on this long, halfway behaving. Y'all gonna have y'all time together. Today is my last day in quarantine. There was a moment when I was in the show, but it wasn't my turn. Y'all might have saw me because I thought I had turned my camera off, but I didn't. I was on the phone. It was my brother.
Did you get tested negative?
I had to wait. Today is my 14th day. I went to set up an appointment for tomorrow, but in my there's just not a place in my area that does it tomorrow.
Because honestly, I want to see my brother until I get a negative test.
I have not seen nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Unless there was a day of, I would sit outside in the sun when I was by myself, and I see people in passing. But that's it. I purposed it. I told myself, regardless of what, even when they said 10 days quarantine, you can come out on Christmas. I told myself then that you're not going to do that. Because I didn't want to. Y'all changed the numbers like y'all figured something out.
If you guys notice about even, and I don't mean to say this, you know, it's not a political thing.
Say it.
But things, CDC, they're the people who make the rules for the illnesses, right? CDC. Yeah. So if you notice, if Trump said you don't need a mask, CDC would come back and say well, we don't need a mask for this. You just have to wash your hands. You get what and the point that I'm saying is that you have to protect your own self.
Yes.
If you listen to what's going on out there, you gonna kill yourself. You have to protect your own self and your own family.
And that's why
yeah, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But you have to understand that there's they came up with when they went to talking strong about this vaccine, the numbers went to changing, the way they went to talking went to changing. Y'all wait, get your real mask. Don't listen to them about them cloth masks. We gonna keep walking around like we got t-shirts over our face. That's not helping nothing. I got me some N95s. I said I'm gonna get back on. Yeah, I like my little sunflower mask. I like my little bling bling. My entire opinion of what I thought I knew about COVID-19 before I tested positive and how I feel about COVID-19 now has completely changed. And I now know that I have to be responsible and accountable for me as well as others. Because, like I say, I don't want anyone to go through this. I don't want to put anyone else at risk. And frankly, I don't put me at risk. I did fairly well this time. Something else happened. I could be in the same situation as Perfumes with Pat. I don't know if I'm ready for that now. It's going to take more than me in the mirror.
That part. And hey, ladies, we're going to go back to the questions. Let's see. I have.
Sorry, guys.
Let's see, I got one more question. Let's see. I got one more question before we get back to you, Micah. LC2 Lady Capricorn Terra. She asked, would you say that COVID-19 is mind over matter?
I think that any sickness is mind over matter. The way that you go into it, if you find out that you have cancer and your mentality is, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm never going to beat this, that, and the third. You
defeated yourself. Exactly.
Y'all, law of attraction.
Like I say, look, I didn't get COVID-19 to find God and become a pastor. None of that. But I know that there's power in the tongue. I know that you have to be careful of what you speak over your life. And that's when I'm in the middle of the juke jump, tossing them back. I still know you gotta be careful with what you say about yourself and your situation. Like I said, your mind is the strongest thing on your body. Nothing else can function without a thought. Stay positive, stay focused, and keep speaking healing and restoration over your life, and watch how and manifest it into fruition. Because when you can't trust or depend on the doctor, the medicine, the information, you better find something to rely on that's going to strengthen you, that's going to motivate you, that's going to encourage you. You, right, Lady Capricorn, you have to keep the mind positive. I realize that, y'all, holiday season is the highest time for suicides, mental health issues, people getting admitted into crisis homes, things like that. It's hard for everybody. So facing something like this on top of that, it can be enough to derail you if you allow it.
Yeah. You remember the doctor that killed herself after all her patients? You remember she was on the news? She went home. She took care of the COVID patients. She went home and killed herself. Like,
and you the nurse doctor.
You the doctor.
You the doctor.
Because mind. I'm telling you.
Right. And then the thing about it is, don't get me wrong. I don't know how the medical field works per se. But I have heard the horror stories months ago where the doctors and nurses were just overwhelmed because they were having to pick and choose who was getting ventilators, who was getting
exactly like they were God. Exactly.
And that is a lot of pressure on a person.
That is.
Can you imagine you make a call like that and then it doesn't pan out? the level of guilt, everybody is not equipped to handle that. And like I said, if you are under a certain age, this might be your first rodeo with the serious. Don't get me wrong, we done had Ebola and chicken flu or bird flu, whatever. Good stuff. But it never ravaged my town before. People that I knew personally never just passed away and no one could be with them. Nobody couldn't have a proper burial.
Right.
Couldn't go and fellowship and just the support. Do you not understand the different levels that this thing has brought about? It has caused a separation and a divide amongst the people that has left us feeling alone and lost. And we have to stay focused, stay positive, and support one another, because everybody is fighting something. Even if you didn't test positive, did your work time get cut short? Are you and your wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend bickering because everybody on top of each other all the time? Everybody got to do double duty. You got to play teacher, parent, whatever. I mean, it's a lot on the world's plate right now, and we need each other. We need each other, and the faster we realize that, the faster that we start acting on that, maybe we can come together and find a way to beat this thing, or at least slow it down so that it won't have such an impact on us.
We can't beat these things. The people, we have a mentality thinking that it's the vaccine that we're going to beat this with. No, we got to follow the simple rules. Wear your mask, social distance. I know you want to party. I know it's your birthday and you want to party. Social distance, put on your mask, and if we would have did those simple steps, some of this wouldn't be here, as heavy as it is, right now.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that, but I agree with that. If you ever check out my channel, my theme for the last few weeks was I washed my hands, I social distance, I wore my mask, and it still found me. I promise you, I didn't go out looking for it. I haven't been to a party.
Can anybody
the thing is, you cannot. Yeah, we hear you, Micah. You can't pinpoint where you got it from.
No, and they're saying now that
that was me. Slim.
Go back for 3 to 10 days.
See, Mike is bad. Let's see.
3 to 10 days from your first symptom.
What's wrong?
You have to trace back at least 3 to 10 days of your first symptom to try and pinpoint where you could have picked it up at.
You can't pinpoint it.
Do that?
You can't.
I go to work, I stop by the corner store, and I go to my house. Even the cashier at the corner store change up. The customers change up. The wind change up.
You
something. Yeah, I can hear. I can.
StreamYard is really stuttering today.
I don't see they really can get it stuttering. Some for our way going out. So as long as y'all can hear it, that's what's up. She's going in and out on my side of the screen. But hold on for a second. Let me remove I can see if I can do that.
All right, I'm a hush now, so Michael can get his chance to answer his question. I talk to y'all all night now. I like to talk, and I feel passionate about this. I feel like there's a lot we need to know.
I just lost the game. Let's see. Right now, I can't. Right now, I can't parlay or Michael in right now. I see you right now, Pat. On everybody, the screen. I want to trip right now. Yeah, because this black screens on my end. I see Pat clear. I see Pat very great. Well, Micah and Sunflower on my black screens right now, so I can't. You can hear. You can hear and see Sunflower already, Pat.
Can you hear me?
You're muted. You're muted, Pat.
I hear you, Sunflower, but I don't hear you so good, Slim. It's going in and out.
Well, every time StreamYard kicked me out, it would say StreamYard is stuttering.
Okay.
It should fix itself in a minute. It's
I don't know what's going on my end. Like my end must be jacking up like for real right now. Hold on for a second.
And KianaVision, you're absolutely right. We're going to come through this thing strong. I don't know what is going on.
So I still, Sunflower might still dark on my end. Myself back in. There's dark on my
now
end.
you sound like a robot.
On there. Okay. What I'm about to do because I can't right now see Sunflower Lady or Mike. So Mike, if you can hear me, what I'm about to do, I'm about to ask you the second question. The question I have for everybody. Let's see. This thing here is. I see Mike. Okay, I see Mike again. Yeah. Okay.
I forgot. I didn't get
it. Okay. I'm about to ask Mike the question, the second question I have for Eric. This question here. Can you describe your time in quarantine and how does it affect you? Because right now you're still going through quarantine.
Boring. It's been very boring. Not going anywhere. Not really doing anything. It's just been boring. Getting to spend a lot of time with the kids, so that's nice. But we still like no touch rules and stuff. But I see them, get to hang out with them, so that's cool. See Molly, so been a lot of that. Got to shoot some videos, which is cool. But yeah, just been pretty boring for me.
Yeah, wrong with that. What day are you on right now?
Nah, you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, StreamYard one mess me not yet. I said, what day are you on? What quarantine day are you on?
I know mine ends Saturday, so I'm not sure what the math is on that. But mine is supposed to. Today's Wednesday. A test on a Wednesday. Oh, 10 days. So this is day number 7. No, 6. 6. 6.
Oh.
And Saturday. So.
Yeah, so they for you. Okay, cool. I hope once your quarantine ends, you're going to go back to the hospital and they're going to ask you how your symptoms are and your COVID.
Huh? You said yes. I'll be returning back to work on Saturday. Is what the game plan is.
Oh, you going back to work Saturday? When are you getting retested to find out?
Well, according to CDC, once you've spent your days in quarantine after you've had it, if you don't develop any other symptoms, you return back to work and you don't have to be retested.
All right, then. Well, shoot. Well, no more symptoms between now and Saturday, then. That's what's up, my man. That's
For sure.
what's up. But still, just for your own people, whenever you do get a chance again, hey, you never know, man. Self again if need be, because I feel like you done once you take positive, you need to at least check it out again. Eventually, what's going on with that? I kind of do well sometimes, because instead of them retesting. Like I think that they should, your quarantine days, test you again to make sure that you good. Instead, you just want to say, well, after things pop off, then go back to work. What if the day that you go back to work, you all of a sudden start feeling bad, and next thing you know, you done affected the work populace, So
yeah,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me too, man. It's crazy to me too.
Just beyond being like that. True, which keep true through which, man. They don't care. So,
Nope.
You good on your end, man. So, what I'm about to do right now, we're about to get into this third question. I appreciate you answering that question right there, Mike.
For sure,
and
man.
Glad that you feeling better, because being a cook, you can't lose your sense of smell being a cook.
Nah,
that's not good.
It
That's not
sucks.
good at all.
It sucks. Or sucked.
So
I'm starting to get it back, so it was terrible.
That's good, man. So we're about to get into the third question, y'all. Back to the lovely Pat, Perfumes with Pat. We're about to get into this third question here. So mute mic real quick, or you just muted himself. Perfume. I'm going to question about can you hear me good, Pat?
Now I can.
Okay. Cool. That's good. This question I have for you is, as a content creator, did COVID-19 hurt your ability to produce content? And of course, I know that it, not to answer your question for you, but I know it definitely helped because, of course, being on was part of the channel. So, your own words, this, as far as COVID-19 help or hurt your ability to produce content, which we kind of gathered what the answer means. So, in your own words, how did that go? Did it hurt your ability to produce content?
No. Because I got COVID-19, and then I decided to start this channel. So no.
So that's a simple question, because some of the questions that they have here, so, it was real simple. Like somebody right now, same question. As a content creator, COVID-19 ability to produce content. Hold on, you're muted. Hold on. Gotta unmute yourself, son. There we go.
No, I said I couldn't hear you. It was just real choppy.
Oh,
I missed it when you asked Perfumes with Pat.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
What was the question?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
Yes, I can.
As a content creator, does COVID-19 help or hurt your ability to produce content?
Honestly, I don't think so. I started my YouTube channel when COVID first came around, and I was just doing, whatever came to mind. I think that my actual I tested positive, and I'm in quarantine content has been a bit better, honestly, because it's not the frills and fluff and unboxings and twist out tutorials. I've been putting out a little more content that actually gave out some information that could really help someone's life, not just help you be cute for the day or help you find a good deal. So no, I don't think it has it didn't hinder my content. It did change my content some, and the only thing I can say is when I originally put it out there that I was positive, I noticed that the level of encouragement and support I got was amazing, but the level of ignorance that I saw at times was overwhelming to me as well. A lot of people reacted as if this hasn't been around since March, as if it was like they seeing somebody with 3 heads. People have been sick and dying for months now. This is not, it shouldn't be a surprise or shock to anyone. By now, especially in my small town, with the way that the numbers have spread, it should have given people a feeling of this could really happen to me. I need to figure out everything I could figure out to protect myself and help myself. But
And
yeah,
that's one thing that's one that's been good as far as with you being able to level up as far as your channel, in the midst of you being diagnosed earlier this month, not diagnosed, but them saying that you had the COVID-19, and so you being able to bring more awareness to it, which is what I've been seeing on your channel since I've came across and met you.
When I found out that I was positive, like I said, it was a Tuesday, and I had already started working on a video, which I'm still working on. I had been making jokes about all of the telemarketing calls and the calls about the vote, and I started working on a project behind that, and I just kind of put it on the back burner, period, because even though we need to know everything that we can know about voting and all of that good stuff, even choosing the right candidate can't guarantee to save us right now. Having your choice in office cannot prevent us from going through what we're going through. Right now, the only thing that can help us is knowledge, awareness, and following through with the things that can help us and save us. I have been so disappointed in the level of information that we've been getting and the way that things have been being handled. So I've said to myself, if you figure out something that works, tell somebody. Because at this moment,
the
information is conflicting.
Okay, I still see her on my screen. That's talking right now, but
yeah, like I said, the information we're getting is so conflicting. I just felt the need to talk with people over what's important. Being testing positive put me in touch with myself and my feelings. And that just led to me wanting to share my experience and document my quarantine and make an attempt at showing people what it could be like.
Can't see anything. Right now everything is black on my hand. I perfect Pat. I can't see you, Micah. I can't see lady right now. Press a one if y'all can hear me in the chat. Press a one if y'all can hear me in the chat. What's going on while StreamYard or YouTube is tripping tonight? Well, I know why it's tripping. I didn't talk about this thing. That's what's going on. And it is like very hear me right now. Okay.
Unmute your mic, Perfumes with Pat.
Let me see something. Let me refresh this.
Right.
And I am back. Let's see. Wait, why is it 2 minutes over here? Let's see. I'm gonna take that one down. Okay. Sunflower lady. Let's see. Get rid of that one there. Which one is that one? Is that me? Which one is that? I don't know who that is. That's okay. That's one. Yeah, we good. We good now. So everybody hear me good now?
Yeah, sound quality is awesome.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I had to refresh the stream. Sorry about that, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Had to refresh the stream, y'all. That last part that you were saying, Sunflower Lady, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to catch it because everything was going black on my. Just from what I heard before everything cut off. You know, regarding just the level of everybody being able to produce and you being able to wear your channel, and for those people who are ignorant, to the whole situation, or as we were talking about early on, those that still believe that it's a hoax, real. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have the support to understand that, hey, you have to expect it. You don't know. I mean, when it comes to something that that people are catching, and whether it's coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever name you want to call it, or something else, it's how you on your P's and Q's and protect yourself. I worked in stadiums. I worked in a band. Know that most of the people that go to those places didn't do the simple things such as washing their hands or touching everything, and germs are everywhere. And so I know that so many people were not following just simple things beforehand,
right?
And so I know those people definitely still following them now. You feel me? And so it's all about bringing awareness and just simple hygiene is going to help. And not even say that because you yourself, Sunflower Lady, you practice hygiene. This thing still found a way to toward you. And with Pat, we all tired and on the way to come into our lives one way or another. I am fortunate that I haven't my aha moment this year was, of course, with my diabetes and catching that earlier this year, and in the midst of the pandemic spreading across the world and making me even more so aware, what's going on. And of course, all stopped. I had 3 jobs before all of them. It stopped all 3 of them. And the whole thing is just like crazy. And so now I'm going to ask Micah the 3rd question, and then I'm going to hit you all 4 questions. I know it's getting late. I know y'all want to be in here with me, y'all. Micah done got a girl on here, cook on everything. So I know
we ain't gonna be able to rush through it now because I have a question of my own that I want to ask the panel.
We're gonna have going to free fall as soon as I finish mine. So we're going to free fall. I know you, Sunflower. I know you're going to be ready. I know you're going to be ready to heal me. Micah Marshall, aka King Mike, I'm about to ask you this question here, young man. For you, the question is of course, sir, content creator. Does COVID-19 help or hurt your ability to produce content?
Both. Is that an answer? Because yes, yeah, because it helped because I'm home more, so I was able to film and cook more. And it hurt it because I can't travel, I can't do the things that I wanted to do. You know, like I can't travel around or go visit places because places are shut down. So both.
Yep. That sounds about right. That sounds about right there. Perfumes with Pat, we going back with the fourth and final question. So the rest of the panelists, y'all can listen to this. Perfumes with question. Me yourself. Question y'all have because we're a little bit beforehand, but
I can't. Slim, I can't hear you. It's like totally going in and out. Yeah. If you could type it, that would be great.
Okay, that's cool. If you can, so here we are. Let's see at this time. Okay, here is the fourth final question. The Pat, can you hear me now? If not,
yeah, I see.
What
are
your thoughts on the scene?
I mean, listen, you have to know if you trust what do you trust in life. Number one, they didn't have enough time to, you know, to know anything about the vaccine. Like that wasn't a long enough time for me. So as for me, you know, I don't know if my job is going to make it mandatory or whatever, but for Patrice, I'm going to watch it and see first. I'm not going to jump into getting anything. You know, I don't know what they concoctioned or whatever. I'm just going to watch it. And I have to give a political answer because, you know, you never know who might be watching. But exactly. I'm going to sit back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a nurse, so I got to be careful what I say. But I'm going to sit back and watch it. But that's for me.
Yes.
You know what that means? Mm-mm. No.
That part.
No. Yeah, no.
I understand your answer, Pat, and I appreciate you as of right now, because like I said, at this time, you know, what are your thoughts? Of course, you know what I'm saying? We'll talk more candidly, you know what I'm saying, off air, all that there, you feel me? And okay, I'm about to go to Life Lady. Sorry to meet you real quick. Life with the Sunflower Lady. We about to be right, young lady. What are your thoughts on this here vaccine right now at the moment?
Well, I'm going to give the most politically correct answer I can. Hell no. I don't want their vaccine. I don't feel that they've had the time. You all cannot get together on how to properly treat people, more or less you got a whole cure. And then some of the people that are involved in producing and funding this vaccine were just singing the song of population control. I studied the Tuskegee Airman experiment, and they not gonna Tuskegee me. We're not doing that. We are. I am not going to be the guinea pig. Y'all figure it out, and if by some small chance, it's mandatory that I have to get it. And I'm not sure, and I'm still not confident about it, then I'll just be in a place where I'm having to transition more, maybe make other choices. I don't feel that it's fair to force it on people when this has been around. Let them tell it less than a year. Y'all haven't figured out cancer. Y'all haven't figured out strep throat. Y'all haven't figured out the common cold. Y'all haven't figured out. Y'all ain't figured out diabetes. Y'all ain't figured. But y'all got corona on lock. All right. No. I just how I feel right now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I hope that within the next couple of weeks they'll come out with a new study saying if you've ever had it, you don't have to worry about getting it again. That you can't be reinfected. That's what I want them to say.
That would be nice. That would be nice. We waiting on that study. And of course, a couple months ago, I heard that, this is all hearsay because I don't know if it's necessary because the way they're quarantining people, not okay. If you quarantine for 10, 14 days and you don't have it anymore, quote unquote, don't have it, if you don't get tested, what Micah saying, okay, if you don't show symptoms, you go back to work on it, whatever. But what if you symptoms show back up? And that's pretty much saying that you did, it's not going, you got it, but they got you out here. Like Pat, she quarantined herself for a few months, until she was, all the way figured out, so it's all about which way you've been going about it. And so with that being said, we're going to go to you, Micah, answering the last question. I have an awesome panel up here. Micah, what is your answer to that? What are your thoughts on the vaccine this time?
I'm not taking the vaccine. If my job asked me if I wanted it or not, and I had the choice, I said no.
That part. Over here to Grant, who is off screen now, y'all. Grant, who of course we don't say it around here because he worked with the CDs. Your thoughts on the vaccine, young man?
I'm not taking.
And put myself on screen real quick because I gotta speak into. I don't have a mic like King Micah right there, but I'm gonna mic real quick. I'm gonna go testing. Look me in my eyes. I ain't telling you can keep it. I don't want it. Not then drop it.
Hey, I got it. Yeah. I want to take it if they blessed it with holy water.
Y'all heard that? He said he they blessed with holy water. So, to quote the gentleman of Parliament a few years ago, hell no, to the no. That part. So he's serving it to him in the mug. Hey, that part. Y'all.
Right.
Hey, I got my dope panel. I got King Mike. Look at the sunflower lady. Hey, we about to do a free for all. Hey, who got some thoughts? I'm just up here chilling right now. Those are my questions. I hope my questions was informative. If anybody any questions in the chat, feel free to put some questions up. I'll present them to the panelists. Meantime, between this free for all right now, as far as way she go, like those sunflower lady, she had some thoughts that you want to put out there. So, hey, let them thoughts, release them thoughts and bring fruition. Law of attraction, baby. Let's make it do what it do.
This is the question I have, not only for the panel, but for the chat as well. Do you feel like you have a responsibility to know your status before you reintroduce yourself to general population, before you go back to work, before you start back being with your family? Because I have a problem with the Center for Disease Control saying that there is this thing going on that we don't fully understand. And even though we told you that you may need this amount of time to heal, we're going to change that number and decrease it. And once those days are up, you just go right ahead. I have a problem with that. Why would you not want people to know their status before? Do you not understand the level of a whole nother outbreak that could happen? Because y'all thought people were not contagious anymore, and they were. And now this germ has been reintroduced to the population, and we'll be looking at a whole nother wave. But like I said, that makes me wonder, what is the most important thing? Is the safety and well-being of America important, or this the agenda behind that goes along with this virus? What's your opinion, chat?
I think the truth of the matter, the truth of the matter is that what's important to all of us should be to make sure that we keep ourselves, our families, our friends, even strangers safe.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it's important for you to do your 10-day quarantine so you could go back to work, to keep this economy going. So like I said, everyone have their own thoughts and minds. You have to make up your mind and decision for yourself. What's more important? Because at the end of the day, when you're dead, guess what? They're going to throw you in that ditch like they did all the millions that died. They didn't have anywhere to put them. And so you got to come up with this your own self, your own, what do you think? It's not about what the government doesn't lead your life. It's about you. They're there as guidance. And if you see the guidance is going left when you want to go right, go where you believe is correct for you to go. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't go back to work because they told you could go back to work in 10 days. No, check yourself out. Make sure you don't have it. Because can I tell you something? A friend of mine got it the same time as me. I went back to work, whatever, say 3 months. She went back to work 5 months, 5 months. Why? Because she tested once, it was positive, tested again, it was positive, tested a third time, it was positive. So on the 3rd month, she was still positive, people. So you have to make up your own mind and get these hard questions. And some of these tests that they're doing where they allow you to do the test on yourself, be wary of those tests. Be wary of them. Let go and let the nurses do it on you, because you're not going to go all the way up where you're supposed to go. You're going to stop right here. Okay. So that's my thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think like, I agree with you. I think that's so ridiculous. Like it's like you said, you basically just have to decide for yourself what's important. Is getting your paycheck more important than having a life?
There you go.
Than your life. Your life, the life of your family, the life of your friends, the life of your neighbor, the life of the cashier. Because we as people, we have to be accountable for ourselves as well as others.
That's right.
Just because it may not hurt me does not give me the right to put someone else in danger, because I want to be able to pay my bills on time. I have been out of work for 2 weeks, and I will not work this week because, and this is also my thing too. Okay, they gave us 10 days. They originally gave me 10 days too. Okay, like with Micah, they gave him 10 days. But most facilities or testing sites, besides, okay, maybe the do-it-yourself CVS or whatever, require you to wait 14 days before you can even be retested. How you gonna tell me to come back to work in 10 days? But I don't even have the option to know my status. That was the first one of my biggest fears when I first tested positive. How my first question was, like, my doctor didn't explain to me how long I could be contagious or the process, how this works. Nothing. I got none of that information. And I literally just did not know. So I was Googling and calling around and asking. And I told myself, like, on day 3, regardless of what they say, I am not busting a grape until I know that I am okay and I am not contagious. Because I thought about it. Look, think about it this way. Imagine the shoe is on the other foot. Let's say you have a neighbor, a co-worker. Okay, we're going to say a co-worker because work is the thing we're talking about, going back to. Let's say you got a co-worker and they had COVID, and then they came back to work without being retested, just following along with what the CDC says. And then now all of a sudden,
There's a breakout.
12 more people got COVID.
Exactly.
And nobody can figure out where it came from.
There you go.
You can't tell me the thought is not going to cross your mind. Did that person that was already positive bring it back in here? Were they negative before they returned back to work? Can you imagine the feeling that you would have to know that you were positive and went back into normal life too soon and put everyone else
at risk? Exactly.
That is a responsibility that I do not want. I don't want to go back too soon, still be positive, run the risk of dropping off a germ somewhere, becoming negative just to go back and reinfect myself or pick the bug back up. Like I said, I didn't have a super terrible case this time. I don't know what the next time would be like.
That's right.
I feel like I have to take my life seriously. And in order for me to take my life seriously, I have to take your life seriously too. And vice versa. I think that we as a people really need to reevaluate our priorities and what is important to us. And don't get me wrong, y'all, when I fell out of work, I was on the second day of the first week in my 2-week pay period. I was like, my rent check finna be a 9-hour check after I pay my insurance. We getting put out in January.
So what your job doesn't offer, like the jobs, they don't offer the CARE Act? Because like under the CARE Act, they're supposed to give you 80 hours of pay if you got diagnosed with COVID.
Let me see how I can carefully answer this question. No, seriously, because in my line of work, there are just certain things that you have to be careful with talking about.
You're right.
But what I will say is no. I have absolutely no safety net at all. None. I don't qualify for any type of unemployment. I don't fall under the CARE Act. The only thing that I do qualify for is, I think they call it the FMLA, where I have up until I can be out for 12 weeks before they can safely give my job away. I mean, that's just it.
And that's kind of the messed up part about it all.
And it
That's
is.
why people want to go back to work so quickly.
That's why you see them after 3 days, they got COVID and they trying to rush back into work.
Right.
Because the reality is that they're not getting, see, I got paid up until my full-time off. You know what I'm saying? They paid me, you know, so, and not 80%, I got my full check. So the reality is that if you don't have that luxury to go back to work, you know, and to stay home and get paid, you're gonna feel like, how am I gonna feed my kids? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna feed my kids.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I don't have any kids to feed, but how am I gonna feed me? Like I said, I got a 9-hour rent check. That's not go flat.
Yeah.
But when I thought about it, nothing is more important than my life.
They could have not fed, they could have not paid me. I would have still been off as long as I had, my last symptom was cough. And every time they called me, I had, because the health department called me. Do the health department call you guys?
No.
No?
I have.
They called me.
They called me every day. Every day. How's your symptom? How are you feeling? How's this? How's this? Every day.
That has reached out to me on a regular basis that isn't just a family or friend or something like that. Is my director at work.
Wow.
My director checks on us nearly at least every work day. She might miss a day on the weekend or something, but she go check on us.
Wow.
But as far as, I literally haven't talked to anyone in any other medical profession or anything like that about my diagnosis since I was diagnosed. Even though I had to reach out to my primary care doctor when my symptoms started to change, and we did our little virtual visit and she sent my prescriptions in, but that too was still it. I had to turn around and call her back on Monday and ask her, okay, what's procedure? Because my quarantine time is coming to an end. What's the next step? Do I still have medications to take that I haven't finished? Do I need to finish the medications before I consider, going back to work? Or what do I do? And she basically told me, well, as long as you complete the entire 14 days, that you should be fine. I said, I want to get tested and make sure. I said, because I said, well, how am I going to know that I'm not contagious? She said, well, you have to wait the 14 days. And once you wait the 14 days, you can go get retested. So I took it upon myself to speak with my job and let them know that was the plan of action I was planning on taking. My director was amazing. She was like, okay, just keep me informed, let me know. Because there was one day that she called to check on me and I was just in my feelings. I was like, well, what do I, how do I know? And she was like, I'm just sorry to say, I don't have answers myself. And when I told her that, what I wanted to do, she was fine with that. And she supported me in that. And for that, I'm grateful. because you have jobs out there that are really trying to force people back to work regardless. And I thank God that I'm not in that situation. But
one of my jobs
the
is trying
fact
to do just that.
yeah, but the fact that I still don't have income coming in, it makes it hard. But I'm just not willing to just sell myself out for a paycheck that I can't guarantee I would even have a chance to spend. Because I very well could take a turn for the worst or something. And what will I have gained from going back to work? Nothing. Because regardless of getting a paycheck, you can never have enough money. And if I make one more paycheck, two more paychecks, what about the rest of life? I still have to live the rest of life. And money can't give me life. Not, I mean, you can. I watched this video. It was a nurse that had gotten COVID, and she died begging the people at her own hospital to help her.
Wow.
She is a whole head of department kind of nurse. She made great money. She was not your average McDonald's worker, and she still did not get good care. She made good money. She had health insurance, but she still did not receive good care.
That's because you have to care about yourself.
But this woman did. This woman went on live calling the doctors, telling them what was going on with her, telling them the treatment she needed. There were people at her own hospital that couldn't even recognize her anymore and were downplaying her symptoms and her suggestions for treatment, like her life just didn't have much value. And she ended up, the last thing I saw from her, she died like a day or so later. Like, she was really that close to death and was unable to get the help that she needed while being in the hospital. I just think that that's ridiculous. It says a lot about the stature of people that are in charge of our lives. I see KianaVision's question on the screen. I'm going to answer that to the best that I can. Ginger has lots of antiseptic and healing properties. Green tea, there's a concoction. I call it 3, 3, and 3. 3 lemons, 3 inches of ginger, 3 tablespoons of 3 whatevers of honey to, you make it sweet as you need it to be or whatever, and 3 bags of green tea. And you steep it as long as you can. And like I said, make sure that you drink lots of hot fluids. That way, if you do have mucus in your lungs, it can stay thinned out and help delay or prevent the inflammation in your lungs and the wheezing and the buildup of fluid. Breathing exercises. If you can get a hold to a nebulizer, asthma pump, whatever. I slept with eucalyptus burning in my oil burner to help keep my airways calm. and keep moving. Don't settle in. Don't lay around. Keep moving. If it's nothing but walking around in your house, steadily doing something. If you feel like cleaning, do that. If you feel like exercising, do that. If you feel like taking extra showers just to keep moving, do that. Steam is great. If you go to feeling that heaviness in your chest, get Vicks, get eucalyptus, get peppermint, essential oils, steam with it to keep your everything, all right.
What I did, yeah, I agree with you, Lady Sunflower. So the orange peels.
Mm-hmm.
So I peeled all of the oranges. I boiled them.
Mm-hmm.
I put them in a basin, and every day, twice a day, I would go underneath a towel and let that get into my, lungs, my nostril, and I would let everything drain out. I did that twice a day. I always slept, like you said, I always slept. The humidifier I found helped with the shortness of breath so
Keeping
much.
moisture in the air.
Yes. And I had my pastor made me like this concoction of like orange, garlic, onion. I know there was like turmeric in there. She blended up some. It was nasty. Ugh. But I took 2 shots of that every day, and let me tell you, that really helped. But your vitamin C is going to be your best friend. Your zinc.
Vitamin D.
I didn't drink anything. Now I'm drinking cold water for 2 months, 3 months. Cold water, ice cream, none of that touched my lips. And it was summer. I didn't eat any. Yeah, the orange peels. Let me tell you, Mashana is the best. That helps so much under your towel with a basin and the hot water, the steam is coming. That really, really, truly helped. And what got back my taste of scent, taste and smell, I put Vicks on my tongue, like a little bit on my tongue. And in 2 days, because my smell was gone for weeks. I thought I was going to live like this. I lost 15 pounds. I mean, I found it back, but I'm just saying, I lost it. But that Vicks helped with the taste and the smell.
I kept Vicks on my nose. I kept Vicks on my throat, on the back of my neck. I put it on all of my pressure points.
And they have the eucalyptus crystal. What is it called? The menthol crystals at Amazon. I put it in they have a humidifier by Vicks itself. It costs $14 at Walmart. I got that. I put those crystals, a little bit of the crystals in it. I still do it today because can I tell you something? The way that I had, and I'm not trying to put my business out there, but a month ago, I went to OBGYN, right? So I had to go see them. They told me, the guy was like, oh, well, you do know that you have a spot on your lungs. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, they didn't tell you that you have a lump or something on your lungs? So I said, no, nobody told me that. What are you talking about? So I went and I got a chest x-ray done. And how about after COVID, I have spots on my lungs, little lumps on my lungs on this side. And I'm like, what on earth? So like, I went to work yesterday on Sunday, and I work for a crisis center also. This is my little second whatever. And let me tell you something. The patient started a fight. This is a little teeny little boy, 18 years old, but he's little. And usually I'm ready for the fight. Honey, I had to bend down. I could not breathe. So COVID lungs is real. That after effect, the other nurse, one of the nurses that I work with, she has to be on a monitor now. She's on disability. Why? Because COVID destroyed her lungs. No, she never smoked. I never smoked a day in my life. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't have nothing, no hypertension, nothing. COVID, honey, I couldn't even walk from here to there. Even now, I'm trying to exercise to lose the weight. It's like that energy that I had before it's gone. It's gone. You know, when I went to the doctor the other day, they said, okay, well, the thing finally came off your lungs, but you feel it. It's like a burning, and you're trying to figure out like I was so worried the other day because I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't have it again because I was coughing. You know what I'm saying? Like it does something to you, you know? So let me tell you something. This experience, I wouldn't want to trade it for anything, but I don't wish it on anybody. Anybody. I don't want to trade it. I like the experience because I'm telling you, I've learned a lot. I learned a lot about who I am. But also, let me tell you something. When you see people, they have this thing, you know, the empathy, sympathy in your, you know what I'm saying? Because this thing, it wasn't no joke for me. It wasn't no simple thing. I'm telling you, I nearly died. I nearly died. And fear gripped me so bad. And I always considered myself a strong person. But when I got COVID taught me that, Patrice, you're not the baddest chick in the world. You got to depend on God. Let me tell you, you better depend on God. And that's what I did. I said, Father, please don't let me die. Please. Because I haven't done anything in life yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't let me die. Who's going to take care of my kids? You know? So COVID kicked my butt, guys. Let me tell you, it wasn't no simple cold for me. It kicked my butt. Okay? I'm 50 pounds heavier. I lost the weight. Then I gained it back after the taste and smell come back. You go, oh yeah, I can eat now. But COVID was not easy for me. You know, and I don't know, and I know this sounds silly to say this, but I have 4 kids. Every time I had a child after my first child and how painful that labor was, every time I reached 7 months with my pregnancy, I got like this thing of like, oh my God, I'm going to go through that pain again. That's how I feel about COVID. Every time I go to work, you should see me. I have my mask on. I have my thing on my face. I have my gloves on. It's not about living in fear. It's about living smart. You don't want to get this. You don't.
Right. You're trying to save yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but guys, I do have to run. I'm home. My kids are like, Ma, we didn't eat. So I'm going to go feed my kids. Slim, thank you so much for having me on this panel. Lady Sunflower, you are amazing. Okay. You are amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. Okay. Micah, you are awesome also. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on this panel. Slim, you hear me?
I think that it's
I'm gonna go, okay? Because I have to feed my kids, okay? And I have to get ready for work tomorrow. But if you ever do this again, I'll be here.
Right.
For sure.
I was just saying.
Thank you. I'm not disconnected, but I'm gonna try.
It's something
for those that don't follow
Perfumes with Pat. Information needs to get pushed out there, and there are so many people that just don't understand it. There are people that are seeking knowledge and wanting to know about remedies because the medicine is not helping, or the doctors isn't giving out medicine.
You know where I found out about these remedies, and this might sound crazy, but I went to, on the website it'll say what China did. Mm-hmm. Okay, when I went on the website and everything, it said that China, they peeled oranges, they did everything that I said. They did that, and then my pastor came up with her own remedy, and that's what I did. That's what got me through it. Like when I went to the doctor, I had a phone call on the doctor. They want to give me albuterol, and how can you give me? You trying to treat me with medication, but you don't know what this is. How? Right. I'm not taking none of that.
I'm telling you, they put me.
I'm not taking that.
They gave me
people have died already because they've been treated.
And people were dying in March. In March, now it's scary. But imagine having it in February, March. Do you know how crazy I was? I'm crazier than I was crazy. Because like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Yeah.
They were just winging it with you.
Yeah. winging it.
Can you
Giving you, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try. No. So you have to take care of yourself. You have to. You have to. Because let me tell you something. These people will kill you. You know.
That's the most important thing. We need to be informed so that we can make good decisions for our lives.
That's right.
Do your research. If you can't figure out what to do about COVID-19, research things that will strengthen your lungs.
That's right.
Research things that will strengthen your immune system. Research what foods will do what things. Medicine is not always the best option.
No. Get on some of that holistic stuff. Yeah, holistic stuff is what's killing COVID. It's not what they're prescribing. In the beginning, they were giving you prednisone. Prednisone wasn't helping.
That's what they gave me.
COVID. It does the opposite. Come on.
Well, that might be why I started feeling worse.
Let me get off of here. Sunflower, don't listen to me, girl. Listen to your doctor.
Look, you the nurse. I know.
Yeah, Perfumes with Pat. Thank you for coming through.
I ended up.
No problem. Thank you so much.
And my doctor ended up putting me on something.
Slim, thank you so much for having me. I have to step out, my guys.
God.
Bye, guys.
It was great
coming
seeing
through.
you, Perfumes with Pat.
Perfumes with Pat. Thank you for coming through as well. Live with the Sunflower Lady. Thank you for coming through. I'm about to wrap it up myself now because it's getting late. I need to get my grub on so I can tell y'all what I ate tomorrow.
I'm hungry. My stomach's going woo.
Y'all, I gotta find groceries too. I'm hungry.
Hey, so when it comes to everything, y'all, hey, holistic medicine is key. You know what I'm saying? FDA, big pharma. Don't get me started. Let me stop. We don't like you, big pharma. Well, wait, hold on. I ain't gonna say we. Let me take y'all out real quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't like you, big pharma. I don't like you. I speak for myself. I don't like you, big pharma. FDA. I don't like you. You feel me? You know, because I don't want to incriminate y'all in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to y'all, big pharma. I don't like you. Period. Anyway,
get with that lemon and ginger and stick with it. If you got some oranges, throw them in there too. I wish I could show y'all my Instapot right now. I got 6 oranges, lemons, ginger. I've been straight ODing on it. Garlic, onions.
You have to.
I mean, straight everything that I eat. I puree ginger, I puree onions, I puree garlic, and I use it for my seasoning because those things help your body.
That part.
If you can get a hold to seaweed, those nori wraps, seaweed is a detoxifier. It'll pull heavy metals and things out of your body.
For more information on that, y'all definitely make sure y'all check out Life with the Sunflower Lady because she gonna talk about these things and more on her channel for sure. And I will definitely have her coming back on here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do a couple more live streams, you know what I'm saying, what is, you know, COVID related or anything else, because Life with the Sunflower Lady, hey, you definitely have a well of knowledge and information within yourself. And you know what I'm saying, thank you for sharing your story along with Perfumes with Pat and King Micah, you know what I'm saying, up in this thing. And shout outs to everybody in the chat right now, from Miss Shanna, who is also a content creator, KianaVision content creator. Let's see who else is in the chat right now. Molly Life. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the channel. First time I'm seeing you, Molly Life. Thank you for coming through as well and sharing your experiences regarding the people who you work with and the whole thing regarding coronavirus and the vaccine itself that she talked about regarding people who have taken the vaccine thus far, and talking about the 3 different types, because you know these vaccines are coming from 3 different companies, as you already know. Sunflower. I mean, we could get into that, but we ain't gonna get into that right now because you already know. I already know just from what you said earlier. I know you know, and just to let you know,
I know too. And I know
you
know I know. But so, before we go, y'all, I want to say one more thing to y'all, and I promise I ain't gonna hold you. Okay, there's one thing that we know that has been made up all of our life. We know that man created time as a way to measure energy.
That part.
Energy is what is important. Work on your vibrations. Work on yourself. When it comes, they said holistic as with your treatments, holistic as in your way of life. If you can find a way to cleanse your chakra, do whatever you got to do, pray, meditate, fast, do whatever you can do to strengthen yourself from the inside out. We are in a time where we need support from whatever higher power you believe in. But in saying that, remember, there is a higher power in yourself. Believe in yourself and manifest whatever it is that you need to get through whatever the situation is, whether it be physical, mental, psychological. Do whatever it is that you can to take care of yourself. You only have you. There are no do-overs.
That part.
If it goes wrong, there are no do-overs. But every day that you wake up, there's a chance to try it again, to get it right, to make it better, to prosper even more. And Kiana, you are in my prayers. Positive, negative, whatever, you will succeed. You will make it. You are blessed. You will be all right. Do not get discouraged. And that doesn't just go for Kiana. That goes for anyone else that is facing anything. Do not get discouraged in this season. Something greater is coming out of this for all of us.
It's a season of rebirth.
It is a season. 2020 was hell on wheels. We looked at it so many different ways. Everybody was low. I was mad. Can't go nowhere. Can't eat nowhere. Can't do nothing. Can't. But when I learned to embrace the actual slowdown that we've all been saying we needed forever.
It was the year of the introvert. Yeah.
Life is what you make it. Enjoy it. Manifest something better. And focus on yourself. And that's it. I ain't gonna say no more. That's it. That's all.
And y'all gonna say that part. Live with the Sunflower Lady. Mwah. Blessings to you, baby girl. Yo, make sure you good. Once your quarantine is over, you know what I'm saying? You already know what you're gonna do. Get yourself checked again. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna go ahead and put it on out there right now, you guys. Okay, today is my last day in quarantine. I said I was going to go live tonight, but I'm not so sure. I may just wait until, and go ahead with this big reveal and hit y'all with that big N on my chest, And we go so enough party. Okay. So
that part. Heard
stay
that.
tuned because
y'all heard that.
I will be done. When I know, I'm gonna let y'all know. Because if I can beat this, you can beat this. No matter what it is, you are not alone. I am here to support you, and we have got to learn to support each other. Because you never know who you're gonna need and when you're gonna need them.
That part. And this, y'all, Live with the Sunflower Lady, you are definitely one of the joys of December because I met you, of course, in this month. What was it this month or was it November? No, I think it was this month. But anyway,
I think it's been actually like right at the very beginning of this month.
And I do believe what through KianaVision. It was either through KianaVision or I can't remember. See, I forget my 6 degrees of separation sometimes, y'all.
And it's crazy because I can't even remember where I met Kiana at. But once I met her, Taco Bell, Melly like
that part. So with that being said,
when I met her, it was just beautiful, and it opened a door that I wouldn't dare shut. I love you guys.
Hey, and you know it. Hey, you part of the GOAT Nation, so you already know it. You
visionary. Oh, yeah, he gonna start calling my name when he
Sunflower. Well, you ain't that. You ain't just that yet. But when you pop in, you gonna get your shout out. You pop in, you gonna get your shout out. You gonna get your shout out. That part straight up. That part straight up.
Look, shout out, gang. Look, I love to hear him call my name on the big screen.
Hey, that one. Hey,
for Hollywood.
see, y'all got the big screens over there. Y'all got the big flat screen TVs, you know, over the mantelpiece and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? That big ball and shot column right there. I still got the big old TV. My TV still got a booty on the back. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I got a flat screen on the wall. I ain't turned it on in 2 years. I don't even watch TV.
Hey, see, I don't either. I don't even daggone mess with you. Feel me? But guess what, y'all? Your boy getting ready to go. I'm about to go in here and make me a chef salad for the night. Get my girl on this salad. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Y'all already know on the day of vlog, day what 302 of diabetes and I. And, you know, of course, we're gonna glance over this right here. And of course, y'all can see this not only here on YouTube, but you can see it on Facebook as well, because we were simultaneously streaming on YouTube and Facebook tonight. So, you know, feel free to, you know what I'm saying, check it out, both places, whichever way you want to, you know, share it to your people and, you know, inform everybody. That's what it's all about. From me to y'all, it's your boy Slim Jim Longfoot, aka the GOAT King of America. I'm gone, y'all. One love.
Good night, everybody.